Hola amigos, and welcome to today's mukbang. For today's mukbang, we are having Carl's Junior. I think it's the first time here in Denmark, at least, that we are doing a mukbang of it. And here to the side we have
plasma.
Mama donated. I can't find the paper, but this is chicken sandwich, guacamole chicken sandwich. Then we have chicken tenders with ranch and sweet and sour. And then for Mama, she has the guacamole 5-star something. And then over there is semlor. That's a Swedish version of fastelavnbolla that we had in the last mukbang. We have 2 of them. You can't see the kex, Mama. And then we also have some pomelo, which you cannot see. And then this little bunny, because it's soon Easter, so we have a little Easter bun.
Mama.
Dip it.
And what's that? What sauce is that? Blah blah.
Sweet and sour.
Oh. We only eat meat when I donate.
Thank you.
Nala. So that's every 2 weeks only.
Yeah. Oh, it's really well seasoned. I'm gonna do sauces, which is so rare. It's free.
The sauce? Yeah.
It's inclusive.
What's the other one?
That's ranch. Usually they cost like an extra 8 crowns or 5 crowns. I don't know why it's free. Oh, I forgot to say these ones. They're chili peppers. I'm so excited. It says cheese in it.
I like this stuff.
Ooh, did they put peas in it, or is that jalapeno?
Is it very spicy yet?
Not even. When we have jalapeno, when we have Carl's Jr.,
yeah, it's not spicy.
it feels like we're in the US. Oh, I forgot to film a close-up of all the food. I'll just do this. Usually I have a close-up. I forgot because we just got home from Mama's plasma donation, and then I forgot to take my B12, and then Mama is tired from her plasma, so we don't really have brain cells right now, guys, so maybe it will help to eat. It's cold.
Maria saw a handsome doctor in the hospital. So while I donate, she checks out.
No! He was walking by. I was just sitting there. I was walking by, and I thought,
this one is much yummier than
I thought
nuggets.
I was in Grey's Anatomy for a second.
Yeah, they have this canteen for doctors only, for the personnel only.
Why is there no cafeteria for everyone?
No.
Can I have the drink? And then we bought this drink because when you donate blood, you need to replenish after.
It's almost like a Gatorade.
There's B12.
Maria's chicken sandwich has guacamole.
Oh, I'm so excited for this. Guys, oh, by the way, the semlor is not from Carl's Jr.
No.
It's from Espresso House, and this too.
Swedish. It's real beef. 2 beef or 1 thick beef, and then there's guacamole. It's
not the.
Oh, it's not. Oh, let me taste.
But it tastes very similar to it. Eat that first. I have a favorite chocolate ball in Sweden. It's there's coffee in it, but this it's like a fancy version. It's mousse inside. And then this, guys, I like that, but I don't know if I like the original ones more, the cheap ones. This guy's semlor. This is what I talked about in the last mukbang, that it's yummier than fastelavn. And it's like so much more, it's simple,
it's
you know,
Swedish.
elegant.
It has whipped cream and then marzipan inside. This one?
And this is vegan, guys.
This one I didn't like before. But when you're eating vegan, your taste bud gets more sensitive instead of numb. Now it's very yummy.
Oh, I miss this. We had it like a week ago. It's vegan, but somehow the whipped cream, it tastes like real whipped cream. And here in the middle, that's where the almond cream is.
The vegan food here is better than in the States. I feel like.
Oh. It's my favorite. Guys. Mama donated plasma today at the hospital. It went smoothly. Show them. And a student nurse did it. What she get?
She was like, I saw that she was a nurse student and I thought, oh no. But she was still better than the last one.
But you know,
it hurt, but not as much as the other one.
But they're nice at the hospital. And especially now that it's Mama's second time.
No, third.
Yeah, but I mean second time donating at that hospital.
Oh.
Yeah. So they know you. And another guy was called them, and he cancelled, and I could hear the receptionist nurse say, "Oh, could you?" There's a popper under the table. And she said the receptionist said, "Could you book another time because we're running out of plasma? So donate plasma, guys, if you can." Look at this, guys. A bunny.
Is that
and it's
Kinder?
heavy. Yeah. I thought there would be something inside because it's quite heavy.
Let me taste this white chocolate. But again.
Aww. Doesn't have any use. Right? I love it. I love Kinder. I feel bad because in the US they're not allowed the Kinder eggs, and when I was a kid, that Kinder egg was everything. I loved the toys inside, and I never ate the toys. I think they're safe.
If you're going to donate plasma,
these are so good.
Oh, Maria will tell you about her dyslexia test, but if you're going to donate plasma, you have to stock up on food. Because usually
you get really hungry after.
I eat 6 times a day on that day.
Today.
But usually I only eat 3 times, sometimes just 2, even if it's vegan.
When I order sandwiches or burgers, I like the chicken more. Especially when we eat so much vegan, I kind of lose interest in beef and pork.
That's weird. But you know, I told her to get plant-based burger because I didn't want to eat it if it's just me eating meat.
But then she changed her mind. Even if I was gonna get the vegetarian one, because she really wanted it. But anyways, guys,
bacon.
Today's topic is serious, okay? You guys know I'm dyslexic. Like, I remember I made a video on this channel. Okay. I made a video on this channel years ago where we didn't show our faces. I was like this. and I was telling you guys about my dyslexia. And so I was diagnosed in Sweden. And in the last vlog you guys saw, I went to my future school to take the test. And you know, I was hopeful. I don't know why.
That's the second one.
I was dumb. I'm dumb. Because...
No, you're not.
Because I was hopeful. Like, why would you be hopeful if you constantly get let down? Anyways, I've taken this dyslexia test 2 times here in Denmark before, when I was in grade 7 or 8, in between those grades. And both those times, it wasn't like the official dyslexia test really, because it was about grammar and about the 5 elements and whatever. It wasn't like the reading or spelling. And you know, for dyslexia, it's not just about not knowing how to spell. It's not that. It's your brain processing things differently, and so it can take longer for you to like read something because it takes time to process. It's like when you buy a slow computer versus having a MacBook, you know, but eventually it will catch up, you know, and the brain just thinks different, you know. And so anyways,
is it really slower or a different way?
It just processes differently, you know. And so anyways, I went to the school hopeful.
Bakery school.
And you guys saw in the last vlog when we did it. So I went in and I had to bring my own laptop, and I was a bit suspicious about having to bring my own laptop because I was thinking, so this would just be on the computer then, like before. Because my first test was on the computer when I was in grade 7. The second one was just on paper. And so she gave me the dyslexia test. And it's 3 parts. As I told you guys in the vlog, it was words that they weren't actual words. And the guy in the computer would say, click on the word that sounds like the word I'm saying now, even though it's a gibberish word. And then for the other words, you like had to... one of the words, even though they're all gibberish, sounds like a real word, and you have to click the word that sounds like a real word. And then the last one, it was glossary. It was words. It's like, it's all different types of words.
Vocabulary. Oh, my brain. Your brain won't work.
What's glossary?
That's Swedish, I think.
Oh, there's no glossary.
Your brain won't work for at least one day when you donate plasma, unless you're an alpha.
What did I say? Yeah. And it was a vocab, so it was like the guy would say a book, you click on the book, or railroad, you click on the railroad. Really easy words that a 5-year-old could know. And then that was it. It only took me 20 minutes, guys, and I was so suspicious at that point, but somehow in my brain I was still like, yeah, they're gonna help me. And so after that, I get a call after a few days, and the counselor tells me, so yeah, you're not dyslexic. You are so smart that you are so not dyslexic. Like, I'm on the highest part of the green level. There's 3 levels: red, orange, and green. Green means...
She said that?
I was being sarcastic.
Oh.
There's this green part, that's where the normal people are. You're not dyslexic at all. You can be on the very high end of it or on the lower end of it.
She said the colors?
No, but then yellow or orange in the middle, that's when you're not dyslexic but you have issues like dyslexia. Then there's red, you're dyslexic. Apparently I'm super green. I'm super green and I cannot possibly be dyslexic. And I told her that I have all of these different symptoms, or you don't really say symptoms because it's not a disease, but I have all of these different signs of dyslexia. And I was tested before when I was a kid by a psychologist. So, and I did say I'm mild dyslexic, but that doesn't mean it's like easy. You're still dyslexic. So, and I told her, like, when I'm reading, I skip lines. so I have to like follow with my finger. That's not something a normal person does. And then I have problems with spelling. Normal people have problems with spelling once in a while, but not like just what if you like when you learned how to spell beautiful, when you've learned it, right? You're not gonna forget it over and over again. You know how long it took for me to to memorize the word beautiful? It took so long.
When it comes to numbers, like she would say 6 8, but she wrote 8 6.
Yes. Last night I made that mistake. So, and it takes longer for me to understand words like or sentences in a book. Let's say I'm reading a paragraph and you tell me to summarize that paragraph right away. I'm not going to be able to. Even if we watch a movie or I watch a movie and then Mama says, "What's it about?" And I'm like, "Yeah, there's this guy and you know he's rich and then he fell in love." And Mama's like, "Okay, that's it." But if I've watched the movie over and over again, or I love it like a lot, then I can tell her all of the details. But not if I'm not interested in it. And you know,
no, because she watched Supernatural at least 3 times on her own and with Audrey.
No, I didn't watch it.
Oh, not with Audrey, but like so we watch it together again. And I would tell her, so what will happen now, or what happens in the end, because she doesn't remember. Okay. But or we're still like we're watching it and then we just watch something and she would forget. I mean, if I really like something, I would remember everything.
And for you, when before you were full on type 2 diabetic, you didn't really have that. You could like read a book so fast.
Before, when I was just pre-diabetic or pre-diabetic, or when I was younger, I was like really fast in
and you
reading.
could talk to her at the same time as she was reading a book, and she would finish the book. Yeah, that's like that's a bit like extreme. That's not normal behavior. That's like very, very smart behavior. For me, I can't do that. Okay, I could love a book, I could love it so much, but it takes me a year. So anyways, I was explaining to her all of these different symptoms of mine, signs, and she said, you know, it's because you know so many languages.
I know.
Oh, that's such a big...
I know 4 languages, and yeah, I studied French. I'm not dyslexic.
It's such a big misunderstanding that you can't learn languages if you're dyslexic. You can. It just takes a bit longer. I mean, for me, it didn't take me 1 second to learn all of the languages. I learned Tagalog because my mom talked to me in Tagalog my whole life. So it was fast because of that. And I secretly kind of knew how to speak Tagalog, but I was too shy. And then with Danish, I still am not fluent.
You're better than me.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not easy. And with Spanish, it takes me forever. And I'm dyslexic in all the languages.
I love Spanish.
You can't be dyslexic in one language. And then if that's the case, then people who are monolingual, are they all dyslexic then? And I sounded so disappointed because honestly, I never want to make people uncomfortable or make them sad or anything. I feel so awkward talking to people, and so I don't like showing that I'm sad or upset. I'm always like hiding. And then I couldn't do it because I couldn't think how to respond to that because it sounded so absurd. And then she said, you know, other people get happy with these news, as if she told me I'm cancer free or something. It's not a disease that I'm suddenly cured from. But she was like, so now you should continue life thinking you're not dyslexic anymore because it sounds like you got used to it, so you're not dyslexic. And I cried. I cried after this call. And honestly, it's not really me crying wasn't just really because of her words, but it's more the system. And then when I was reading online, researching, it crashed
because of
more.
Money. They want to save money.
It was heartbreaking reading all of that.
Because almost everything is paid for by taxes here. So when it comes to things like that, they want to save money.
And like, I wrote on Reddit and I talked to people on Instagram, and everyone told me that there's something wrong because that test is supposed to be 4 hours or longer.
Her dyslexic test before in Sweden took 3 days at least.
Yeah.
And no words, just pictures. And it was a psychologist who interviewed her and tested her. And we were so worried because he said, oh, maybe your eyes, maybe there's something wrong with your eyes. And Maria was just thinking,
I was crying.
Wear glasses.
I was crying when they were checking my eyes at the, what do you call, the doctor of the eyes. Eye doctor, ophthalmologist, nosologist, whatever.
Ophthalmologist?
Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, and so for them to tell me I'm not dyslexic after having to go through the testing in Sweden, and I'm like, it was frustrating to hear this again because they keep telling me this here in Denmark that I'm not dyslexic. And then I was researching online and I found out there's a flaw in the system. So basically here in Denmark they do these tests on all the students in school, especially the ones who have signs of dyslexia. So the teachers will have them do the test. Parents can request these tests for their kids in school too. But these tests are all on the computer. Before, the tests were made by psychologists, but when it was my time, it wasn't psychologists. It was just like a guidance counselor. But in other places, I guess it was psychologists
before. And
they talk about it as if it's outdated, but even though that's the correct way to diagnose a dyslexic. I was reading more about it, and I learned that it's a money thing because obviously it's cheaper to have the kid do it on the computer for 30 minutes, and if it's not in the stereotypical, dyslexia field, then you're not dyslexic somehow. Even if you're severe dyslexic, guys, you could be severe dyslexic and still somehow pass this test. I've read so many stories, and I reached out to a bunch of people, to specialists like diabetes. See, I keep on mixing diabetes and dyslexia because they sound the same. With dyslexia specialists, I've been talking to them, teachers, and also guidance counselors online, and even reached out to psychologists. And one of them, such a nice woman, wants me.
A therapist?
No, she's a specialist in dyslexia, and she teaches. She's a teacher as well. She has so many qualifications, and she wants me to call her for 30 minutes for free today, later. So, because she has an idea on what we could do.
She said there's no use for Maria to take the test with her because the school might not acknowledge it.
Yeah, and that's like, what?
Because it would cost almost $1,000 to take that test. So if they would say, oh, if you take that test, then we'll help you, then that's okay.
I'm gonna call her, but I think what will happen, because the school counselor said I won't be able to get any help, except she did agree to download a program on my computer. I emailed explaining why that was my reaction, why I sounded sad. It's frustrating, even though I've been to school here and I survived school here fine, but it wasn't easy. But I'm fine with that. It's fine. I can do it without help, but I just don't like that they keep telling me I'm not dyslexic, and then now telling me I can't even in my brain think I'm dyslexic. And after that call, I felt so stupid, because when you're dyslexic, when you're told you're dyslexic, the first thing you think you're stupid. Because when I was a kid, I remember.
And now you can't even feel that. It's like you're a fraud.
Yeah, it's like imposter syndrome. Like you can't even think that you are dyslexic. And so why am I having struggles then? Am I just stupid?
They're like gaslighting the Swedish system or any other country's system.
Crazy though, because Danes themselves get annoyed with the system.
Yeah.
And they argue. You will see people argue on the streets, in the grocery stores. So
They can be.
It's not like they like that.
aggressive.
They don't like that behavior coming from other people, but some of them still do it.
Yeah, they do.
It's not everyone, guys, but you know.
Many Danes are very helpful. My stepfather was, you know, he's dead, but he was very helpful, and there are many Danes who would just do a lot for you so they can help you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not everything's perfect here in Denmark, but you will get a lot of help from the government here. But when it comes to things that's like that, and it's the same with if you have Asperger's syndrome, like in the States, it's no longer you will no longer have a diagnosis. It's almost like that with the dyslexia, and it's all about saving money. Or if you think about the mental hospital, you know, before people were there and the whole world said, oh no, it's okay, you can be on your own. And now many of them kill people. Or they commit suicide. It's like that. Like the society has decided these things are not important. You can do it on your own.
There is a problem with the psych, what do you call it? The psych department here? Thanks. The psych department, because there was a shooting in a mall last year.
Oh yeah.
And when that happened,
but it's like seldom, like once.
No, but I mean, a bunch of people came out saying that there is an issue with the psych department here in Denmark. And even doctors came out saying that yes, the line is way too long. If you say you're depressed and you're thinking about ending things, then they will listen to you. But if you say you're depressed, before getting to the very lowest point, they can't help you. It will take a year, and you're sitting there depressed for a year, and then by that time, after a year, then you want to end it, then they will help you. And
I mean, there's less shooting here than in the
but
States,
they end up ending their lives.
Commit suicide.
You can say suicide. They commit ending their life permanently, you know. And so that's why people came out talking about it last year, and you would see a lot of videos on TikTok of kids, teenagers and adults coming out saying they didn't get enough help. And even not only that, even with there's this famous YouTuber, she's having problems with her period, and she needs to go to the female doctor, gynecologist, and the line is super long, so it's gonna take her forever.
It's not because Danes are weak, it's the opposite. Many of them are like alpha, very stoic. So when you hear a Dane complaining that they're in trouble or have psychic problems, they should take it seriously.
They endure.
They're not entitled.
Yeah.
Like you will hardly see Karens here.
They endure pain. They could like be in a ton of pain the whole day for weeks and weeks and weeks before they say anything.
Like
and
if
also,
you lose an arm, and you will see people without arms, or I mean it's not often, but without arms or legs. They only have, you know, prosthetic, and they're still working. Even though they can easily get, you know, pension easily, but Danes love their work. They're in love with their work. Here they're like workaholic. It's their life.
They're very hard workers.
Yeah, but it's a bit like, it's a pity because their family, you know, they don't have time for their families. But that's one of the reasons why Denmark is a rich country, because they have this work ethics. Like even Michael told me, oh, the Scandinavians really love to work. I said, yeah, it's their culture, you know, from the beginning. They were like that, and that's why they're rich now. And
it could be a good thing, but it has consequences.
Good for them.
Yeah, it has consequences.
Like when they retire, it's so sad to see like retired people and they're not getting visits from their families because why? They were busy all their lives working, so they didn't get you know, a good relationship. I mean, not all, but I mean that's so normal here in Denmark. Become so lonely, and then you'll see they're so kind to you out in malls because they want to be with people.
And you guys even comment asking me like, oh, isn't Denmark the happiest country in the world?
happy when they party.
Yeah, there was a time where Denmark was on top 1, but I think that was because of the partying, and they can be very, very fun to be around when you're gonna do sports.
Yes, they love sports. That's their second
travel.
God.
They
their
love
first
that.
God is their work. The second,
they love to travel. You know,
5 times a year.
And so I forgot what I was saying, but anyways, going back to my dyslexia. See, I'm running out of juice in my brain because I'm dyslexic. I want to like tattoo on my forehead that I'm dyslexic so people understand, and it's frustrating because I feel like I have to prove myself somehow that I am dyslexic. You know, it's fine if the school just admits that they can't help me instead of gaslighting
they would say that in Sweden. Like they would say, oh yeah, I mean, even though Swedes love their country, they like admit when the government is not as good with their job protecting people.
You know, every Danish person I wrote to admit that there is faults in the system. Every teacher, guidance counselor, psychologist admitted it in email, saying there is flaws in the system. There's people like you who aren't gonna get the help ever because you're not like the stereotypical dyslexic.
You're like in the middle, or
and you know, the help the school would give me, I wasn't really excited for the programs or the pen you get to read out loud, because that doesn't really help me that much. What I was excited about is getting the extra time.
I think it will be okay. It's just not nice of them to say that. The reason why they had to give her a science test was because I told them to
when I was younger.
That. Yeah. So now she's taken 4 tests, but only 1 was legit.
Yeah, and they only offer the long 4-hour test if you pay for it in a different place, like by the person I'm gonna call later. She does those tests, but she says there's no point in me doing it because the school is like this. But the real tests, because why do they even exist then? If the real test is the 20-minute on the computer, and then there's tests that are 4 hours long, why is there those 2, and why are both valid then? But one of them costs money.
It's a pity, like it costs money. Like 5,000, right? So that's almost 1,000. Like,
so expensive.
If you have Asperger's syndrome, it's double 10,000, so 1,500 or something.
So if I make mistakes in school, like with spelling or my memory or something, I can't even say, oh, it's because I'm dyslexic. I'm just gonna have to be like, I don't. But if they do, honestly, I'm just still gonna say I'm dyslexic. Because, and then if they tell me, so do you get help for it, and I will say that I don't, because according to the test in school, I'm not dyslexic.
And you have to say that you're
but I was diagnosed
Swedish,
in
yeah.
So I feel like I'm still gonna say that, because why should I have to lie? But I'm not gonna expect anything. So that is the update on that. Not the happiest ending of it, but you know.
What was that?
Typical.
A week ago? 1 week ago, no?
About.
Yeah.
I cried.
No.
I felt so bad.
No. No. And she's like, oh, you should be happy. Like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I should be happy that I won't get help.
Yeah.
Yippee. But it felt so nice talking to people online, and I didn't feel happy that people were relating to me.
Did you write in Reddit?
Yeah, I wasn't happy that people were relating to me, because that means there's so many people who have the same issue.
Yeah, but you would feel like, oh.
I felt less alone.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel stupid.
You weren't imagining it.
Because in the beginning I was like, oh, maybe I'm not dyslexic, maybe it's something else.
And some of them were Danes, right?
No,
just
but
one.
No, but I read on articles that they had the same issue like me.
Here?
Yeah.
And that Danish person you're going to call later.
So, oh well, sometimes you can't fix some things. You just have to do it on your own. You can't really get help sometimes. Well, I mean, it's like those people who feel like they're always like, oh, my right side of my tummy really hurts so much, and they go to the doctor and there's nothing wrong with you.
Happened to you too.
Yeah, but apparently it was just like stress or something. But there is people who complain about severe pains. They go to the doctor and they say there's nothing wrong. Then after a few months, they're like, there's a tumor in your tummy growing. And if only you knew, like a few months ago, then you would have been able to be saved, and then they die. So my situation is obviously not as bad as that, but yeah, it's sad that professionals don't listen.
Yeah,
it's their job to listen. But oh well, we have yummy food. If you guys come to Denmark and Sweden, go to Espresso House.
Semla.
It's so yummy.
Oh, you should have eaten that first.
Oh, but you know, I don't know why, but it tasted more fresh in the Too Good To Go box.
Oh, the poppers is not spicy at all.
No. How are you feeling, Mama?
Better. And I already ate in the hospital. I got a lot of juice, free water. I got 4 of this, and then 2 of this, just water, and then chips.
There was a guy, after he donated blood, he knew exactly where the snack drawer was. And he went straight to it, getting like 4 bags of chips. Quite funny.
But you know, you get really hungry. It's like you've done a marathon.
Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's mukbang. Tell me down below if you have any learning disabilities. Yay. Let's go down and, you know, rant about our problems in the world. And Mama?
Donate blood.
Yay. Donate blood and plasma. They said they need plasma, guys. So if you're in Denmark,
before,
donate plasma.
The receptionist would always tell me to donate blood, but now it seems like
they were happy to see you.
Yeah.
There was no people
and
almost
no questions.
donating.
Almost no questions anymore.
She asked more questions with the guys. Thanks for watching, guys. Go down below and subscribe and like if you want, and follow me on my socials down below. On my Insta, I love to rant on there, so if you want to follow, go there. Thanks for watching, guys. Happy Easter. This poor, it's not Easter yet, but this bunny doesn't have a head. Adios, amigos. Hasta luego, baby. Bye bye.
I just wanna be with you right now. 너의 기억 속에 남아서